ABC 10 News starts now with breaking news.
And that breaking news, a driver is in the hospital tonight after having to be rescued from his car in Spring Valley. This is video from our ABC 10 News breaking news tracker shortly after the car crashed through a yard on Sandy Bev Lane. The car plowed through a fence and just missed that home. No word on what caused the driver to drive off the road.
The accordion effect is brutal, and we can only take it so long.
Restaurant owners across San Diego County are once again watching our COVID-19 numbers grow slowly towards another indoor closure. Good evening. I'm Steve Atkinson.
And I'm Kimberly Hunt. ABC 10 News reporter Anthony Perez spoke with a restaurant owner making plans to potentially close their dining area for the third time since the pandemic started.
Some restaurant owners tell me they never reopened their indoor dining areas fearing another closure, but for those that decided to reopen, they're again preparing to roll with the punches.
It's hard enough to run a restaurant during normal conditions.
Evan Crescilia owns Rubicon Deli. This is the Mission Hills location, and he's dealing with what he calls the accordion effect.
It seems pretty accurate. You know, it's like open, close.
He's talking about possibly closing down the indoor dining area for his restaurant for the third time since the pandemic started.
Luckily, our business is already very much geared towards to-go orders. But yeah, you know, it's something that we have to have a staff meeting about.
He says effect on business could impact schedules.
Of course, it's hard for me to, make those schedule adjustments. But if you're an employee, it's really hard to count on a certain amount of hours one week and then all of a sudden, we're getting cut back again and we're going to have less hours the next week.
San Diego County's COVID-19 metrics are on the rise and is now flirting with tougher state restrictions on businesses. Supervisors are hoping to separate the positive cases at San Diego State from the county case rate, saying the cases linked to the university aren't representative of the whole community. Governor Newsom shut down the idea Wednesday.
So the answer is no.
But Supervisor Greg Cox says what the county is asking for makes sense.
We're going to continue to push for consideration of reasonable alternatives to prevent our businesses from having to close simply because there are a number of outbreaks that have nothing to do with business operations.
On Wednesday, San Diego State students living on campus started mandatory coronavirus testing. University officials say 60 to 75% of their cases are from students who live off campus. But Crescilia says he'd like to see the state discount to San Diego State cases from the rest of the county.
The accordion effect is brutal, and we can only take it so long. So I'm all in favor of the discount, and I would love to see our business being able to stay open as usual.
Anthony Pura, ABC 10 News.
If San Diego County moves down into the purple tier, that will mean tighter restrictions and more closures, according to the governor's plan. Team 10 investigative reporter Jennifer Kastner explains which businesses would be the most impacted by the move.
According to the state, there are a number of changes that are going to have to happen if we move into the purple tier, the most serious tier to be in. Here are the changes. According to the California Department of Public Health, this is the list of adjustments we will have to make if we're transitioning to the purple tier on the left from the red tier that we're currently in on the right. Retail stores will have to lower to 25% capacity indoors from 50% capacity. Restaurants will move to outdoor dining only after operating at 25% capacity indoors or 100 people, whichever is fewer. Shopping centers will move to 25% capacity with closed common areas and a closed food court. They're currently operating at 50% capacity with closed common areas and a limited food court. Personal care businesses must move to outdoor operations after working indoors with modifications. Museums, zoos, and aquariums will go to outdoors only after operating at 25% capacity indoors. Places of worship and movie theaters will go to outdoors only after operating at 25% capacity or 100 people. And gyms and fitness centers, they will also have to go to outdoors only after being open at 10% capacity indoors. Professional sports will stay the same. They can keep operating, but without live fans in the stadium. Jennifer Kastner, ABC 10 News.
And these are the latest numbers for San Diego County. We had 264 new cases reported today. That brings our total to 43,445. There were also 6 new deaths reported today, bringing that total to 748.
The Poway Unified School District will begin in-person instruction next month. 10 elementary schools will open on October 1st. Those are listed on your screen. The district says it will require all students to wear masks at school. Families who choose the virtual learning option will remain fully virtual. Another 16 schools will open on October 12th. We have a full list of those schools on our website, 10news.com.
We've lost so much. So in our opinion, why would the price remain the same?
A petition for tuition and campus fee refunds is growing among San Diego State students. The argument is that learning is different online and students don't have access to campus facilities because of COVID-19. Our ABC 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo spoke to the student who started that petition and claims she just wants things to be fair.
The student tells me she understands why learning has to be virtual at the moment. She says she loves SDSU and just wishes the price of her education would reflect the changes in learning. This Change.org petition has received over 3,000 signatures in the short time since it was created by SDSU senior Kelsey Santine.
2 nights ago, I decided to make one, and I had no idea it would blow up to be this big.
Santine's petition asks for tuition and fee refunds for campus services she says aren't being provided by San Diego State due to the pandemic.
The library, the gyms, the student union, access to all of those things, computer rooms.
The SDSU senior says she's not asking for a free education, but argues the learning isn't the same as it was in person.
What we don't understand is if the product changed, why wouldn't the price change?
ABC 10 News reached out to SDSU for comment, and a spokesperson referred us to the CSU system. A spokesperson there told us the money for tuition covers instruction, which students are still receiving online. Campus-based mandatory fees for services like health centers and advising have been moved virtual. But for Santine and the thousands that have signed the petition, it's just not the same.
We've lost so much. So in our opinion, why would the price remain the same?
Laura Acevedo, ABC 10 News.
The U.S. Surgeon General stopped through San Diego this week to get a look at how the city is trying to protect its most vulnerable residents from the virus. Vice Admiral Jerome Adams toured the San Diego Convention Center with Mayor Kevin Faulconer, learning about Operation Shelter to Home. Since April, more than 1,000 people have been living in the center getting regular COVID testing. In that time, more than 7,700 tests have been given. Only 21 have come back positive between residents and staff. And the federal government announced a plan to give every American a COVID-19 vaccine for free after a safe and effective one becomes available. The vaccination campaign is likely to begin in January or around the end of this year. In general, people need 2 doses of the vaccine from the same drug maker nearly a month apart. Because there will likely be limited doses to start, the government will prioritize healthcare workers, other essential workers, and those in vulnerable groups. The vaccine will be free because of billions of dollars approved by Congress.
We first started wearing face masks to stop the spread of COVID-19. Well, now wildfire smoke has increased the need to protect ourselves as well. Particulate matter from the fires up north, they have floated south, making our air hazardous. An official with the Air Pollution Control District says that we've had some of the worst air quality in the world this week. And while cloth masks might protect you from COVID, they may not filter out the smoke.
You're in an area where air quality is not so good. You may want to consider exercising and doing your exercise routines indoors if possible.
Dr. Sandhu at Sharpre Steely says N95 masks can protect you from that smoke.
And the nation's coronavirus death toll is nearing 200,000. This as a new CDC study looked at patients under 21 years old who have died from the virus. And while the numbers are relatively low, it found that more than 75% are Latinos and Black Americans. With the election quickly approaching, the race for a vaccine is growing more politicized. Today, the president said a vaccine is coming as soon as October, and doses will be shipped out within 24 hours. But the CDC director said a limited supply will first be made available to high-risk groups, and most Americans will have to wait.
I think we're probably looking at late second quarter, third quarter.
Dr. Robert Redfield also pushed the use of masks as a safer defense than the vaccine. The president denied that claim. Redfield later issued a statement saying vaccines and masks are both important, but the best defense that we currently have are masks, hand washing, and social distancing.
Hurricane Sally has been downgraded to a tropical depression, but we have learned this storm has also turned deadly, killing at least one person now in Alabama. One other person is missing, according to the mayor of a coastal town there. The storm crawled ashore near the Florida-Alabama line with 105-mile-an-hour winds, and it continues to dump heavy rain. More than 500,000 homes and businesses are now without power. Sally is now moving into Georgia. And help is on the way for valley fire victims ahead of the upcoming rains in the fall and winter. San Diego County is opening an erosion control center tomorrow in Alpine. This will help businesses and those homeowners prevent debris flows in areas burned by the valley fire. The center will offer free sandbags, fiber rolls, and other items to help people stabilize their properties ahead of the rains that could trigger those mudslides. The center is on Tavern Road. It will be open from 8 to 4 Monday through Saturday and 9 to 2 on Sundays. Appointments will be required starting Monday. The valley fire is now 90% contained.
One of the LA County deputies shot in the ambush in Compton is being transferred out of the hospital. According to the sheriff, the 24-year-old deputy is moving now to a long-term care facility. Today, the sheriff said he has a long road ahead for recovery, and he's not alone. A female deputy remains hospitalized. It's been 5 days since the gunman opened fire while they sat inside their patrol car. The sheriff says there are promising leads in the manhunt for the shooter.